Earlier in the day, we met the mayor of Tiberias, and people had a good time together.
It's always fun seeing our group gather together with Father Cana down there talking and just having a good time in the evenings. Delightful. That's what a pilgrimage is about, too. Fellowship and enjoying each other's company and growing in the Catholic faith.
Look what time it is, 6:30 in the morning. We got 5 more minutes and these buses are gonna be rolling. These wheels, good morning. These wheels are gonna be rolling down the road because we have to get to Mount Tabor and get on the taxis early to be the first ones up for Mass at 8 o'clock on New Year's Day. Morning, Armor.
Good morning, Steve.
Happy New Year.
Today is, in the universal life of the Church, is the Feast of Mary, Mother of God. I want to read to you from the letter to the Galatians. When the designated time had come, God sent forth his Son, born of a woman, born under the law, to deliver from the law those who were subjected to it.
Well, we've just arrived here at Mount Tabor. We are the first ones here, so we'll be the first ones in the taxi going up the mountain. And I'm grateful to all our good folks for getting up so early and cooperating. So this is Coochie, he's the boss, and he's making pomegranate juice. See, that's the best.
The boss is up.
Well, the boss is up, but he's the boss of this place. There's the fresh pomegranate juice.
Thank
Look
you,
at
sir.
that.
And some shekels for the bathroom.
Hey, we're going up Mount Tabor in the taxis. And right down below, look at this, we're going 1,900 feet.
Wow. That's the one to take, not the blue.
Look at the Jezreel Valley there. Mountains of Gilboa. Everybody doing all right?
Yeah.
Great. Great carnival ride.
We're praying the third luminous mystery of the Transfiguration.
You know what's a good confirmation to our claim is when we excavate and we find churches that early. How early here? 350, we already had a chapel exactly on the same location where you celebrated Mass. And if some of you looked at that wooden floor, there was like 2 openings. There was 2 openings with glass. One was showing actually the rock, and the other was showing the foundation of that very first church.
Deborah did that exact same thing. Deborah took charge. She prayed. As soon as she prayed and said, okay, we're going to go out against the armies, the rains came down in that valley. There's a big river called the Kishon River. It overflowed. Everything turned to mud, and all the 900 iron chariots sank into the mud. Sisera, the general, knew that he had lost the battle, so he quickly found a Midianite tent. They had, the Hatzor and Midianites had a peace treaty. He quickly found a woman named Jael and said, look, I'm going to be killed by the Israelites. You have to hide me. We have a peace treaty. She said, okay, quickly, come into my tent. She gave him some warm milk, and he fell asleep. She went outside, pulled one of the tent stakes out, got a big hammer. I'm watching the kids. What's he going to do next? What do you think that he did next? She went into where he was sleeping. She put the nail on top of his head. She took the hammer and went, bam, bam, right through his head and killed him. And the next, chapter 5, Chapters 4 or 5 in the book of Judges is a very funny chapter because it's these two women singing a whole song, probably the first Hebrew poetry we have, made up this wonderful poetry how we two women destroyed the armies of Hatzor. Where were the men? We don't know. We're leaving Mount Tabor, driving back down the mountain and out. We're now arriving in Cana. You can see the sign here, Cana Police. And we are now getting off the buses and we're heading to the church. Steve Ray here, fearless leader of these 100 pilgrims, along with my wife Janet and our great friend Amr Shahada right there. And here's our group coming up to Cana. Wave to your families back home. Hello. Hola. Say hi to corporate travel.
Going to a wedding.
Yeah, we're all going to a wedding.
And now if you are in the couples, to turn and face one another. Take your right hand, the other right hand, and gentlemen, repeat after me. I renew and reaffirm.
I renew and reaffirm
My wedding vows to you.
my wedding vows to you.
Once again, I promise to love and honor you. In good times and in bad.
In good times and in bad.
In sickness and in health.
In sickness and in health.
For better or for worse.
For better or for worse.
All the days of my life.
All the days of my life.
And ladies, I renew and reaffirm.
I renew and reaffirm
My wedding vows to you.
my wedding vows to you.
Once again, I promise
Once again, I promise
to love and honor you. In good times and in bad. In sickness and in health.
in sickness and in health,
For better or for worse.
for better or for worse,
All the days of my life.
all the days of my life.
God has joined together, let no one put asunder. And a prayer of blessing. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus.
Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners now and at the hour of our death. Amen.
Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb.
We're arriving in Nazareth, where Jesus lived for those years. Here's our restaurant. We're stopping here for a nice, authentic lunch, the kind of food they eat in Nazareth. Tables are all set for us, and salads and food, and here we are beginning our great meal. Fresh soup, very nice place here for lunch. It's called Olga School. It used to be a school. Now we have it for our restaurant. Very nice. How come you've got an umbrella, Janet?
It's raining.
Oh, not too bad, but we're being prepared. There's our buses. We've just stopped downtown Nazareth, and we're going to go up to the Church of Annunciation. We're going to pray the first mystery of the Rosary, where those words were spoken.
Wonderful.
When we arrive at the Church of the Annunciation, Amr is so proud because this is his home parish. The beautiful facade. He explains it all for us as we enter the church and before we go down to the grotto below where the angel met Mary. This is the cave where the angel came and spoke to Mary. Joachim and Mary lived in that cave. The angel Gabriel met them here and said, "Hail, full of grace." We're now praying that mystery of the rosary at the very place where those words were spoken by Gabriel. Not just the Annunciation, but the Incarnation took place here in this cave. On the altar it says, "The Word became flesh here." From the grotto below, we're now coming up the stairs into the main sanctuary, and look at this. The largest basilica and church in the Middle East, adorned with images of Mary and the Annunciation all the way around, and outside also in the courtyard with this picture of Mary as the Queen of Heaven. Wonderful to have Amr explaining his own home parish here in Nazareth. Right behind the Church of Annunciation is St. Joseph's Church. This is where the Holy Family lived underneath at the lowest level for 30 silent years. This is the level just above their cave. There's the altar and the room underneath, and we talk about how the Holy Family lived right in this area and right below in the cave under us here. And here's a picture of the Holy Family. And it wasn't there 2 years ago, but it's a very nice picture. Here it says that he came back to Nazareth, and here he submitted and obeyed his parents.
Hey, I should be a priest here in the United States. So I called a good friend of mine who was the then pastor of St. John's in Fenton, Michigan. And I said, "Dave, I think I'm going to stay here in the United States." He said, "Well, it's about time." And he said, "Leave it with me. I'll call you back in a half an hour." Within an hour, he called me back and he said, "The bishop will meet you next Saturday at the Curia offices in Lansing."
Because we were so efficient and punctual, we were able to go back to the hotel for an hour and a half of free time before going out to dinner. There's our two buses. We've just arrived at the Magdalena restaurant, and we're all getting off the buses and coming in, going up the elevators or the stairs, and here is our restaurant. And like I show every time we bring groups, they enter here. They got a really nice aquarium to show how classy this place is. And they got a wonderful wine selection here. You can't really see the bottles because of the reflections of some of the best wine collection in the whole Galilee area. Magdalena, all decorated for Christmas. And all of our great waiters and waitresses who are here to serve us. And there's Philippe.
Hi.
How are you, Philippe?
How are you doing?
And here's where we're going to be eating, right over here. These tables are all set up for us. Look at that, the wine all set out on the tables. Lots of wine tonight. Look at that, Magdalena wine. Welcome to the Magdalena for a wonderful dinner.
Hi, Hales. Thank you for everything. Hope you're having a great holiday.
I told you that I would bring the chef out so you could tell him whether you liked his meal or not. If you don't, just don't say anything, all right? But if you liked your meal, give him an applause. This is
Thank you very much.
Well, I guess you liked it. All right. Well, you saw him coming in the restaurant. Now you see him going out. What a great evening it was. We are now getting back on the buses, heading back to the hotel, get a good night's sleep, pack, and tomorrow morning, Capernaum, and then we head to Jerusalem. So good night, everybody, from Tiberias. Right over there is the Sea of Galilee.